Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna share my screen so I can show you. Okay. Desktop. Well, how do you do this? Desktop? Yeah, desktop. Share. You see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so for this homework problem, so for part A, it says to make a histogram, but in the beginning, it says with fiscal year 2008 revenue of at least 5 billion. Does that mean for the bins you have to start with 5 million for the salary?
Move over to the question. With fiscal year 2008.
Or can you pick any bins?
No. It's the data is already created at 5 billion. So my guess is
I don't know if I did this right. I just selected my own bins.
No, that's fine because technically it says the data is basically from fiscal year revenue of U.S. companies that had at least $5 billion that filed proxy statements. So you're looking at the full data, but that data is companies of 5 billion that filed these proxy statements.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure I did that right.
Yep.
Let's see. Why is this so small? Oh my goodness. Let me see. Yeah, this one I'm fine with. So I think it's the next part for this question. Let me just set it up real quick. Oh, your video's on. Whoever just joined.
Well, no worries. We can always see the ceiling.
Okay. For part B, it says to find the annual salary below which 75% of all given CEO salaries fall.
Right.
Like, where should I start with this question? Because I don't know if you have the formula from Excel.
So, okay, so you're in the regular class, right?
Yeah, correct.
Remember when we talked about percentile?
Oh, so wait, I think I know how to do this one. So I think you just have to do, wait, what's the question today? Find the annual salary. Let me just do this. So is this just doing that and then array? So you do that. And then do you just do the 0.75?
That's correct. And that would mean what if you did 0.75?
That would be the third quartile.
Yeah, but how do I interpret that percentile, 0.75? That means what about the data?
All of that data is below.
75% of the data falls below that number.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably right. Should I write that out? Like, do you want me to explain more?
You know what? I would say go ahead and write it out because that'll help you remember that for your quizzes and tests.
That's true. I'm just gonna...
I like, complete sentences work out well. Right back there? What? I just told my son the same thing. He has to write complete sentences.
75% of all the data.
So what percent of the data falls above that number?
Which percentage?
In other words, if 75% of the data falls below that number, 1.2 million, what percent of the data is above 1.2 million?
25? Is this
That's correct.
Okay, I thought that was a trick question. I was like overthinking.
No trick questions. If there's a trick question, don't worry, I'll tell you.
Okay, so part C, it's doing the same thing but using 0.55%.
Read it carefully.
Find the annual bonus above which 55%. So it's still using the percentile function.
Correct.
But
this is looking for 55% above, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's looking for 55% above, what would that be below? What percent of the data would be below?
50%?
Not 50.
Oh, okay. So it's annual bonus. Oh, it's asking about the bonus now? Like percentile. Find the annual bonus. It's doing this. And then 0.55. Oh, wait.
Not 0.55, because you want where 55% above, right? But the percentile function does percent of the data below.
So it's 45.
That's correct.
Ah,
That's why I also kind of led you with the previous one.
yeah.
See? Didn't take the hint there.
Oh, God. I have to just rearrange myself. I'm sweating. Determine the range of the middle 50% of all given total. What?
Well, this is easy, right? Because I did this also in class. So 50% would be what?
Like you want a number? Like from
We're looking for the range of the 50%, right?
yeah.
Middle 50%, which would include what?
The median? I'm thinking
Which quartiles would be the middle 50%?
the second quartile.
And?
The third quartile.
Right. So all you need to do is find your second quartile number, right?
Uh-huh.
And your second quartile number and your third quartile number.
And just add.
Sorry. The first quartile number is actually the bottom 25, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the third quartile number is the top 25, right?
Correct.
So if you take those two numbers, that's your range of the 50%, because that's everything in the middle.
Oh, so you just add up quartile 2 and quartile 3?
You don't add them up. It's a range, right? So it's the range is going to be the lower bound to the upper bound.
Okay. So let me see. So do you still have to use the percentile function?
If you used percentile, what would the first quartile be if you did percentile number?
0.25.
And if you did the third quartile number, what would the percentile number be?
0.75.
So therefore, you could either use the quartile function or the percentile function, and you will get the same number.
Ah, okay, so that makes sense.
That was a trick question.
Nah.
Just kidding. Okay. So that answers that one. So let me take another question from someone else, okay?
Okay, sure. Thank you. That helped a lot.
Okay, Sandra, you're up. You're the next caller on WSTAT.
Oh, yeah, I was just hoping that you could show me an example of chapter 4 question, like how to solve it. I'm having a little trouble on chapter 4.
Okay, can you show me the chapter 4 question?
I didn't actually copy down the question.
Okay, because I don't have my computer nor my book, so.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
I still don't have my computer. It's in the shop it needs a new battery.
Okay, so basically it's a demand for, I don't know if would you remember the question by any chance? It's about the air condition and the demand question.
Yeah.
It's asking the probability of distribution of X and Y.
Right. So it's basically like a probability. It's like the percentage.
Oh, you know what? I can give you this. I could share my screen. I did copy down the numbers.
Okay.
I actually have the numbers. Hold on 1 second. Let me just close this out for a second. I'll share my screen then. I do have it. Give me 1 second. I remember I copied the data. You want to take somebody else's question first?
Okay, sure. I'll go to the next person. Athena, you're up.
Hi, I'm actually at work. I just wanted to really join because I didn't join the last one.
Okay.
And I heard it was very helpful.
Okay.
So I didn't want to miss this, and then I was going to listen to it again while I did the homework.
No problem. All right, so you have no questions?
No, not right now because I don't have my computer with me.
No problem. Moving right along. Bavita.
Hey, Professor, I'm just observing as well. It was actually helpful last session, so just using this.
Just observing. Okay, no problem.
Thanks.
Oh,
All right.
I do have a question. Can I,
Sure.
do you record the...
It is being recorded, and then what I will do is I will post this on the Slack channel, so it'll be an unlisted link.
No, the ones that you do in the classroom in the morning. Do you record those?
In the morning?
Yeah,
At night.
Oh, at night from
Yeah.
8:30 to 10.
So I have been trying to, but I've been having difficulty in the room recording.
Okay.
So the answer is a definite maybe if I can get it to work.
So you haven't yet, though?
I have not yet, no.
Okay, and your office hours are 7...
Well, okay, so realistically, my office hours are 7:30 to 7:25 to 8:25 on Tuesday, and
Okay.
technically it is 8:30 to 9:30 on Thursdays. But as
Okay.
you can see, I hold Zoom sessions all the time, so it's kind of like virtual office hours, like really when you need it.
That's true. Okay. All right, thanks.
Yeah, office hours. Yeah, but we do Zoom sessions, so
Okay.
okay. All right, Chrissy, you're up.
Hey, I'm just observing. How are you?
You're just observing. All right, no problem.
I am. Thank you. But I did send you, just side note, the group data that you can take a look at just to approve. But whenever you have a
Yes.
chance, we just emailed you.
Okay, so well, I have you. So I saw. So it had about you said it had 150 rows, right?
It does, yeah.
How come it has so few rows?
Oh my goodness, so this took me like three hours to get those rows. I thought there were a lot of rows. It was harder than I thought just to get, because we don't want to be too complicated, and we.
How did you get the data? Did you manually get that data?
So I went on data.world to get the alcohol consumption data.
Uh-huh.
And then I went on the CDC to get the heart disease mortality data.
Okay. All right.
And I wanted to get, it was weird because when I went on the CDC, because I had like 20 years for the alcohol consumption data. And when I went on the CDC website, it skipped a bunch of years, and I didn't want to not be consecutive with the years.
Right.
That doesn't make sense when you
Yeah.
analyze.
So the issue is you're doing a yearly data, so you're not going to have a lot of rows, or is it monthly?
No, yearly. So it's like it was 2014, 15, 16. I would have liked more. I had a lot more data with the alcohol consumption, but not the heart disease. I mean, I could still look into it, but it was really.
So it's weekly. Okay, it's weekly data that you have for 3 years.
No, not weekly, yearly.
But you have 150 rows.
Oh, because it's the states, by a state.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Go ahead and start working with it. Well, I think it should be okay. It's
okay. I think you're going to find some interesting data, actually. I'll
tell you what, that's the key, right? So if you have 150 rows and something else on the other one, and it's interesting, then that's fine, because you've merged 2 data sets together, and I'll.
And the alcohol consumption part of it does break it down in terms of like what type of alcohol consumption. So we have variables for that. So like wine versus, beer versus shots versus. Okay. You're probably gonna think our group are a bunch of drinkers at the end, but no, I'm just kidding. But I thought I think we're gonna probably have some interesting results. So
that's fine. All right, go ahead with it.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, going back. Who was there? Okay, so Natalia, you're back up.
Yeah, just quick question about the project. Do you want us to email you our topic or just say it in Slack?
No, what I want to do is once you get the data, let me take a brief look at it to make sure that you can do everything that you're going to need to do, because you don't know the techniques that you're going to be using coming up. So if I look at the data, I will know, and I'll say, yes, you can, this is a good data set or it's not a good data set.
Okay, so we have to get the data first, like not necessarily come up with the questions first?
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can come up with some questions like in general, like I want to study climate change. Go get climate change data, and then you can come up with a more specific question.
Okay, I'm going to show you. Do you mind, can I show you like what I've done so far for the group project? See
Yep.
if, hold on, let me just get to the page and I'll share my screen. Yeah, our group hasn't really looked at data yet, but we have pretty good questions that I'm going to show you. Okay, let me share my screen now. Screen. Oh my God, my computer goes so slow when I'm sharing my screen. Oh my God.
Yeah, the Zoom takes up a lot of processing power.
What is happening?
Oh, chill out. What's up, homework?
Oh my. This is very slow.
If you stop sharing your screen while you look up while you look up what you need,
Okay.
find it and then go. Let me take another question and I'll come back to you. Okay, Sandra, go ahead. You're up.
Yeah, I want to share my screen.
Okay. Hold on.
Okay, this is where I am. This is all the number that I have.
Okay.
And I literally just don't know where to start. And those are the number I did so far.
Yeah.
I'm like so confused.
Okay. So what is the question asking again?
The question is.
Sorry. You okay?
Give me 1 sec. Where is my question? Sorry. Okay, the question is, let X be the number of window air conditioner unit left at the end of the week, if any, and let Y be the number of special stock out order required, if any,
right.
Assuming that a special stock out order is required each time there's a demand and no unit is available in stock. Find the probability distribution of X and Y.
Okay.
I think it's my math skill. I'm like really lost.
Okay. Let's see where we go with this one. Would you mind zooming in just a little bit on this? Could you increase the zoom? It's down at the bottom right. There's a little slider all the way at the bottom right. A little higher. A little to the right. You see that slider right there to the right? Slide that up a little bit. Good. Now go back to the top of the screen. Thank you. Okay, so this, I wish I had the question in front of me. Number demanded, so X.
I could take a picture and send it Slack to you right now, actually.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, I'll do that right now. Okay, you got it.
Let's take a look. General. What'd you send it, 203? Did you email it or ban 203?
Ben 203.
don't see it yet. Hold on. Probably taking a minute for it to come up. All right, while I'm waiting for it to come up, just read the first part of the question again for me. Sandra?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Could you read the first part of the question?
Okay, basically it says let X be the number of window air conditioning units left at the end of the week, if
Right.
any, and let Y be the number of special stock out order required, if any,
Right.
assuming that a special stock order outside is required each time demand is available in stock. Find the probability of X and Y.
Okay. So I think you did this right. Can you hover the mouse over D4, please? D4. So explain,
D4, okay.
so explain to me what you did here.
So basically, I did the number of demand times the probability.
Right. So the
That's what I
right.
did.
So the number demanded is 0. Probability of having 0 is 0.05. Right.
Correct. But it times it so it becomes 0, and then I did the rest like this way.
Right.
And for this part, it's 0. I just left it as it is because I don't know what to do with it.
That's correct.
That's what.
That is correct. Right. So you don't have a problem there. In fact, you don't even need it because you're not going to do anything with it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You don't need it because it's 0, so you're not going to do anything with it.
Okay, so I'll just leave it like this.
Okay.
Then.
So now, if you were to add all of these up, what would you get?
I think I did. It's right here.
Okay.
This is the mean, not. Wait, this is the total, I think. All right, you know what? That is the total. It's right here. This is not the mean.
Whoa. Don't change anything. Don't change anything. Don't change anything. Just leave it as mean.
Okay.
In your book, there's a formula for this because this is what's called a discrete probability distribution, right? Now, if you were to look at a history.
Oh, okay.
Now, wait a minute. Something just clicked, didn't it? Right? Watch this. What is the most common number demanded in your data, in this data?
Most common?
Yep. What's the most likely?
Oh, 0.05%.
No. What's the most likely number demanded in this example? You have
it looked like 4.
4, right? Look at what your mean was.
Oh, it's 4. So that's the average.
Exactly, because you're taking the number demanded times the probability of that occurring, right? And adding them together, and you will get the mean of a discrete probability distribution.
Oh, so this is correct. So this is for the answer for part 1 then.
Yeah, if I could, to be honest with you, if I could get the question, I think that's the answer to part 1.
I sent it to you.
I know, it just hasn't come through. I don't know why, but it hasn't come through. So I can't see. Okay, so question 1 is the average demanded, I guess, correct?
Let me send it again. I just did it again. Yes, and the second question was find the expected value of X and the expected value of Y.
Okay.
I sent it again. Did you get it? It looked like you got it.
I'm just not. There it is. Okay.
Oh,
so let X be the number of air conditioning units left at the end of the week, and Y be the number of special stockout orders required, if any. Assuming that a special stockout order is required each time there is demand and no unit is available. right? Find the probability and so forth, right?
Okay.
Now, based on experience, an appliance store stocks 5 window air conditioner units for the coming week. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you to go to column G. Okay.
Okay.
And we're going to call this, we're going to recall this X. Okay. Because I'm going to try and align this to what this problem is.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So X is going, and in column H, I want you to put Y.
Where do you want me to put Y here?
Right there. Yep. Column
Okay.
X is the number we can supply. I'm sorry, this column labeled X, which is column G, labeled X, is the number that we can supply. Y is the number of special stock out orders that are required, if any. Okay? So,
Okay.
here's the deal. If X is 0, right? We'll do it right here. X is 0. What is Y going to be? How many stock out orders do you need?
0.
0, correct. Now in the next one, and now remember, we can only sell 5 before we have to go to stock out, right? According to the question, because it says it stocks 5 window air conditioner units in the second line.
Okay.
Okay. So now go to the next one, and if X is 1, how many stock out orders do we need? Special
4.
stock.
What?
How many special orders would we need?
Isn't it 4 if
Nope.
total is 5?
No, we can handle 1 because we stock 5, right? So if we have stock 5 and the demand is 1, we don't need any stock. We don't need any special orders. So Y would be 0.
It'll be 0. Okay.
Okay. Now, what about the next one? What if there's 2? What's Y?
It will be 0.
Correct. Now, what about 3?
The 3, I guess, is 0.
Yep.
4 will be 0 too.
Yep.
And then 5 also be
0.
I guess.
Right. Now let's go to the next one. What is the maximum that we have in stock? 5, right?
5, correct.
Come down to the next line. Go down to the next line. Go down to the next line. Right there.
Okay.
The number of units demanded is 6, but how many can we supply from our regular stock?
5.
So change this to 5. Change that to 5. Nope. Change the other one to 5.
This one?
Yep.
To 5.
Yep. And how many special orders will you need now?
I'm really confused. Am I retarded?
No,
One.
Hold on.
You'll need 1.
You need 1. Look at the number of units demanded
okay.
at the very beginning, right? It's 6. 5 I can handle from my regular, and 1 is a special order.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I get it. So,
What's the next
all right. It will be 5 and a 2.
That's correct.
And basically, this is all going to be 5.
Yep. There's only 1 left, so. Okay. No, you don't need any more. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. So now you've set that up, right? Find the probability distribution of X and the probability distribution of Y. Okay? Now, the probability distribution of X and Y, we're going to put in I and J. So go to I.
Okay.
Now, let's do it this way. So in column at the top of there, go one up, just do PR of X.
PRX?
PR and then in parenthesis X for probability of X. That's fine too. Good. Now, what is the probability that you have 0 units? What's the quantity? What's that probability going to be? Look at column B.
0.
Nope, not 0.
Oh.
Yeah, you might have to move over a little bit. There you go. What's the probability?
0. 0.05.
0.05, correct. So let's put that in. What about the next one?
0.05.
Keep going. Hold on, hold on. Did you do that right? What's the probability of getting a 5?
Am I doing it wrong?
This is a 5, right?
Yes.
Look it up. Look up a 5 here. What's your probability? 0.16, right?
0.16.
So what is this one supposed to be? This is a 5, right?
0.
So we look at the probability.
0.16.
That's correct, because it's a probability of a 5. What about the next one?
Same thing.
Yep, and the next one? Cool. And you don't need this last one. Just get rid. Don't do this last one. You don't need 5 and 4. Okay?
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
I get it, kind of. I have to reread it, the whole thing again.
Okay. Now we need the probability of y. Okay? Now this is a little bit less intuitive, if you will, but we're going to figure this out. What's the probability of needing 0 units?
It's 0.05.
In special stock, it's going to be. This is going to be 0, right? You don't need any units at all.
0.16.
No. This is just going to be 0.
Okay.
Okay, because we don't need any units.
Like this.
Just 0 for the first 5.
I don't know what I did here, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, just type them in. 0, 0. Don't worry about copy and paste all the time. Just hit 0, down arrow, 0, down arrow, 0, down arrow.
Okay, so it's all 0.
Except for the last 3. So stop. So clear out the last 3. Now, the time that you will need one special stock unit will occur when what?
When this is 5, it's 0.16%.
When the number of units demanded is 6.
Correct.
So the probability of y here will be 0.10.
Oh, okay. Then the probability here will be 0.05.
That's correct.
Okay, I get it.
Okay? Now that sets up your distribution of x and y. The only thing you will need to do is you will need to literally combine these together. Let me explain why. What I want you to do underneath here is I want you to write 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? You with me so far?
Mm-hmm.
Now watch this. What is the probability of getting a 1?
From what, out of 5?
Yeah, yes, in this list. You see this? What is the probability of getting a 1?
1 divided by 5.
No. Here. I'm using these as lookup tables.
0.05. Sorry.
0.05, so put 0.05 there. What's the probability of getting a 2?
0.08.
Go ahead, what's the probability of 3? And a 4? Now here's the tricky one. Hold on, here's the tricky one. What's the probability of you getting a 5?
Do you add them up?
You add them up, correct.
Okay.
And that's your probability distribution for x.
Oh,
Now do the same thing for y. What are my possible options? Actually,
So,
I made one little mistake. I'm sorry. I'm going to correct it in a minute. I apologize. These zeros need to change. I'm going to fix that in a second. Put a zero there, and then a 1, 2, and a 3. And you're actually going to need a 0 on this one too. I forgot that one. You may want to move it down.
mm-hmm.
What do we lose? Lost somebody. Okay, good. Sorry, whoever we lost. Okay, you with me so far? Now, the reason that was a mistake on my part is because if you add this up, something's wrong. Why is something wrong here? I got to check your numbers. 0.05.
163, 16, 16. Yeah.
Hold on a second, guys. I'm going to lose one of my children here. Always when I'm in the middle of something, they stop bothering. It's amazing. They don't talk to me at all the rest of the day. I get online with students, then they bother me. All right. I can't see the screen. I'm sorry. I'm on a small screen, and I'm having a difficulty seeing. Thank you. All right. You know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. I'm going to get my book tomorrow. I should have my computer tomorrow. I'm going to redo this. I got to figure out why you're getting the wrong number. But this is what we're trying to do. We want to get this to be 6.64. That's 0.9.
It's correct.
Yeah, no, you're
0.64.
right. I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing one of the operations wrong. It's 6.16. Are these numbers correct? Could you
You want me to open up the original file?
No. Could you just add these numbers up for me real quick?
I did a calculator. It's correct.
No, that's fine. I just so this adds up to 1.
Which adds up to 1?
Yeah,
These?
I'm trying to
They
draw
add
it.
up to
So
1. Yes, they add up to 1. I
they
did
add
that
up to
too.
1.
Before I
Okay,
start
so
the whole
that's
thing.
fine. So I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This should be. Yeah. Okay. So you know what it is. Change these probabilities here because they're supposed to match up. This is my bad here. This probability of 5 is a little bit different. Hold on. I'm just getting my annotation here. See these 0.16s?
Mm-hmm.
They're actually referring to change to this. So it's not 0.16, it's the 0.10. This is 0.05, and this is 0.05. They just line up because these are these are 3 different types of scenarios where you do 5-1, 5-2, 5-3. That's the problem. It's my bad.
So this is correct, 0.36 then?
If you add them up, does it add up to 1? Add up the probabilities. Does it add up to 1?
Yes.
Then you're good. Now we do the same thing with the zeros. Now the only difference is this. With the Y's, with these, copy the probabilities straight across, right? So that's the 0.05, this is the 0.05, this is a 0.08, and so forth.
Okay. So when I do this, hello?
Yeah, sorry. God, I hate this computer. Clear this. I'm really sorry. I'm having trouble seeing this screen.
You want me to zoom more?
No. It's not the Zoom anymore. The screen is so small, and my eyes are. I got to get glasses. I haven't been able to get to the doctor yet. Appointment. Okay. So this should be fine. So now, what is the probability of y being 0?
Do you just wait? Did you hold on a second? So px is this p1. So
This-
do you add the last three, this 3 up?
Add these for the 0. What do you got?
This added up is 0.8.
Okay, so 0 here is going to be 0.8. 0.8. And then now, what's the probability of a 1?
Oh, I see. 0. I see what you're doing. Okay.
Okay, so now what's the
Correct.
probability? What's the probability that you're not going to need? What's the probability that you're not going to need a special order?
That would be 80%.
Correct.
Okay.
See that?
Yeah, but that's just this number, that
That's
y,
correct,
right?
because that's the every time you need a 0, we're just adding on to the probabilities. So for all the scenarios that we have, that's going to be 80% of the scenarios.
Okay.
Okay? Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yes. I
Okay.
got these parts already.
Yep.
And
So now you have your probability distribution for X and Y. Those are the distributions. This right here.
so okay, but do you need me to highlight these for you to see, or I could just leave it like this?
Well, you can leave it like that. Just put a note somewhere.
Okay. All right. All right, I'll get that done later.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so that's for A.
Yeah. So now for B, we kind of did in a way for X, right?
So B will be this part, right? Wait, no. B will be, yeah. B will be this part, no?
B is what is the expected value? The expected value is the mean, right? How did you figure out the mean over here?
This one, all I did was just the number of demand times the probability.
Okay. So now if this here represents the probability distribution, you can do the same thing to get the mean of X.
So you're talking about the number of demand times
This number times the
same thing.
probability will give you a number, just like you did in this column here.
Oh, okay. All right, I see.
Okay, and then this number times this, and this number times this will give you, and so forth.
I see. Okay, got it.
Okay.
Okay.
So now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you work on part C, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because now what you have to do is using what you've done here on this side, right? You now need to get another piece that says, assume that the appliance stores make a $60 profit on each air conditioner sold from the weekly available stock. They make $60 from the items sold here, right? But they lose $20 for each one that they sell or that they need here. Okay?
Okay.
So
So my question is this. Does that mean, it must sound stupid, but is this, you add up these times 60 minus
you're going to have to do it for
20 times
line. So in other words, what's my profit here? What's my profit here? What's my profit here? What's my profit here? And here, and here, and here, and here. Because when you get that profit, you now have the associated probabilities.
Okay. All right. I'll calculate that myself. That's fine.
Okay. Give that a shot, and then let's see where you end up. If you need to I can definitely get back on Friday night. I might be able to do something tomorrow night. I'm not sure yet, though.
Okay, no problem. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
This way you give
Appreciate
that a shot. No, yeah, no problem. All right. Natalia, you still there?
Yep, still here.
Okay, I think you had a question.
Yeah, it was about the project, so I'll share my screen again.
Go ahead.
So once again, we didn't really start looking at data, but we started splitting up the questions for each person in the group.
Okay.
So we're doing airline/travel.
Right.
So these are just some of the, I want to make sure like we're heading in the right direction with the questions that we're asking.
So the problem is that until you get the data,
Okay,
you won't know whether you can ask these questions or not.
that's true. Wow, so I wasted my time doing this.
That's a pretty obvious one too, right?
Yeah. But I feel like with these questions, it wouldn't be hard to find good data.
Well, here's the thing, though. What's good is the questions do seem good, and they actually can form the basis for your hypothesis and things that you want to test, right? So it's not wasted, but now you just got to go see if you can find the data.
Yeah, and then just tweak around certain things.
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay? Because, again, you may not have, well, you may not have all of that, but again, in terms of data, but you may have some other stuff, right? And you just work with it.
Okay. So I'm going to minimize that. I'm going to go back to that last question that we left off as, because I understood what you were saying, but I'm still confused by the question a little bit, because it says for all of the given total direct compensation figures. So does it want you to do the salary and the bonus separately and then add them or something?
For all of the direct compensation, here's the problem with that. Some people will interpret direct compensation as that and bonus. Other people will only do it as salary. I don't care which one you do. I would just do salary and be done with it. Make it easy on yourself. It doesn't matter for the purposes of the homework question.
Okay. So basically, just to reiterate, for that question, you're doing the percentile.
Yep.
For both the quartile one, or no, so since I'm going to use the quartile, then you have to use the quartile function, and then you wouldn't use the percentage. You would just use
Remember, the quartile and the percentile
they're different.
are the same if the percentile is the 0.25 or the 0.50 or 0.75.
Yes, you're saying 0.25 is 1, then 0.50 is 2.
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I think, yeah, I'm good with that problem. If I have more questions, and we're going to be probably doing more Zooms later in the week.
No worries.
Okay. Thank you so much. This is great. I don't know why all classes don't use this Zoom thing in Slack.
I can't answer that, but I like trying out technology, and from where I came from, I was the former chief technology officer of a company. I had to be connected with everybody, with India, with China, with Europe. So I'm used to this. It's
just the whole interaction that really helps with learning.
That's what it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
I have a philosophy of 360-degree teaching, which means I give you the content that you need for the class, but you get to choose the format, the time, method of the delivery. Now, that's hard in a lot of cases, but to be honest, to spend a half an hour or 45 minutes or 15 minutes a day answering questions is a hell of a lot easier than me trying to jam in 1 hour for everybody a week and not let you get answers.
Agree 100%. It's really about the effort that you put into it.
Yeah, no, I love doing this, so I can talk about these things for hours.
Yeah, so I think I'm good for now, so I'm just going to observe.
All right, Bavita, any other questions?
No, I'm good for now.
Chrissy, any questions?
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Sandra, I'm coming back to you. Are you okay with where we left off?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm working on the rest myself, and if I have any questions, I'll ask. I was just a little confused with the whole thing. That's all.
Are you now less confused or unconfused? If that's even a word.
I'm less confused.
Okay. Is there anything that you want to just recap before I leave on that stuff that we did?
No, I'm gonna reread the whole chapter again. Let me figure out on my own.
Okay, so
It's
just
fine. I
remember,
can figure it out.
each scenario, if you treat them as a scenario, and that's where I kind of messed up because I wasn't seeing clearly, but each scenario, right, has a probability, 0, from the number of demanded. And that gives you the amount of in stock and the amount of, out of stock that you need to get. So all of those represent probabilities. And what we try and do is if numbers group, like those fives group, we actually combine those probabilities. And that gives us our probability distribution. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that part.
Cool. Awesome.
There's other stuff I think I need to re-look at it.
Okay. No, that's fine. All right. Any other questions? All right. Shoot me a text on Slack if you need, and then we'll yeah, if I need to jump on Zoom real quick, I will. I'll see you about tomorrow. I teach pretty late tomorrow, but maybe I can do something just after, depending on when I get back.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks, Professor.
Have a
Thank you, Jen.
great evening.
You too.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.